Hello, Michigan. Welcome to State Champs Michigan Extra Point. I am Ryan Slocum, joined by Scott Burnstein, and we are here to talk high school football all season long right here on the State Champs Sports Network. This program is presented by Lawrence Technological University. You can recruit yourself by simply going to ltuathletics.com. Scotty, welcome back. How you doing again this week?
Doing well, man. Getting down to the nitty-gritty, home stretch. Cream rises to the top. So this is some great football we got on tap. We've had some great football leading up to the last couple weeks, and now it's it's money time, baby. Let's go get some cash, baby.
That's right.
Go get some titles. Go get some crowns.
3 games remaining. Week 7 is what we're heading into, and we will let you know what Bernie is burning on in a little bit later in the show. We'll get an excerpt also of the interview we had on the audio podcast version of Extra Point with Livonia Churchill head coach Bill DeFlippo. First, here's the top games that State Champs covered last week, and we start on the west side of the state as Grand Rapids West Catholic went on the road to take on Coopersville. The Falcons found themselves in a 24-7 hole as they went into halftime, but West Catholic responds with 21 unanswered points in the second half. They go on to win it 28-24 is the final. In the Southwestern Athletic Conference Lakeshore Division, undefeated Constantine hosted Watervliet. This would be a high-scoring affair. Watervliet looking to win it late, but Constantine's D holds up. The Falcons go 6-0 on the season with the 42-38 win. We make our way to the Southeastern Conference. Ann Arbor Huron at home taking on Dexter. Both teams coming into this game at 4-1. The River Rats pounding the rock in this one, rushing for 4 touchdowns. They hold off a late charge by Dexter with the 28-21 victory. Huron gets to 5 wins for the first time since 2009. Next to the Macomb Area Conference Red Division clash, Sterling Heights Stevenson goes on the road to take on Chippewa Valley. Our Anvil Award candidate Jordan Kwiatkowski had himself quite a day on the offensive side of the ball, rushing for 4 scores. The Big Reds with a chance to win it, but it's not enough. Stevenson goes on to win 36-32 the final. The Titans are unbeaten in the MAC Red. Now to the Oakland Activities Association, the defending Division I state champs West Bloomfield at home taking on Clarkston. These two went to OT last season, and guess what? It's time to go to another extra session. Our Mr. Football candidate and recently committed to Michigan State, Dylan Tatum, gets the rushing score and the game-clinching interception in OT as the Lakers go to win their 5th straight game. 34-27 is the final. And staying in the OAA, Rochester Adams looking to go 6-0 as they take on North Farmington in the White Division. Raiders looking to upset Adams. They had a 21-14 lead in the 4th quarter, but the Highlanders respond with the score to tie the game, and this one goes to overtime. The Alabama baseball commit Parker Pico scores in the extra frame, puts Adams up 28-21. Then the Highlanders D hold North Farmington on their possession as Rochester Adams hangs on to win it 28-21. They remain undefeated at 6-0. All right, so let's bring back in Scott Burnstein here for some of his thoughts on the outcomes from last week. Bernie, Dylan Tatum just committed to the Spartans, and he wants to make sure that Mr. Football trophy stays in West Bloomfield for the 2nd straight year.
He's putting up some real nice stats. He's got about 700 yards and 12 touchdowns through 6 games. Doing it on both sides of the ball. Probably going to play in the secondary at Michigan State, but he is electrifying. And West Bloomfield really had to go back to the drawing board after week 1. Got embarrassed in that first week against Rochester Adams when they were raising the state championship banner, getting the rings. maybe read too many of their headlines, came out real confident, and ended up going back to the locker room with their tail between their legs. But since week one, they have been surging. Went back to the drawing board, got everyone on the same page, cleaned that defense up. Defense looks really good, and then Raquez Nance, the sophomore quarterback, is coming to his own. So West Bloomfield looks like they could really be a contender to repeat in Division I. Rochester Adams, who was the team that upset West Bloomfield in week one, they're a top 10 team. Parker Pico, the Alabama baseball commit, we've talked about him a lot, but guys that maybe you haven't talked about as much, Brady Priestcorn, who is a Zach Ernst, Travis Kelce type of tight end. He's only a sophomore. He's a two-sport star, also a really good basketball player. Joey Shallow, great receiver for Parker. Running back Griffin Hankey, nice change of direction, change of pace type of back. And then on the defensive line, Alex DeGreek, just a pass-rushing menace going to Harvard. So that's what you got from Rochester Adams. Love what I'm seeing. Sterling Heights Stevenson, they are playing some great football right now. Jordan Kwiatkowski's playing with such heart and soul. The team kind of goes as he goes. He's their emotional leader, their spark plug, and he's doing it on both sides of the ball. He's going to Central Michigan as a middle linebacker. He's kind of, in my opinion, he's got a power conference motor. So he's going to a mid-major, but he's a kid that could be a star in Mount Pleasant. And then I wanted to comment on Dexter and Huron. Last week we shouted out the Thomas twins at Huron. They got the dub, but over on the Dexter side of the ball, Cole Cabana, one of the most diversely skilled playmakers in the state of Michigan, just got a Michigan State offer. He does everything. He's like a Christian McCaffrey type. So if you get any chance to go see Dexter play football, definitely take a look at Cole Cabana.
This program is also brought to you by the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Officials are in need and invite you to check out being an official. Great part-time pay. Stay in the game. We have a shortage. Go to MHSAA.com for the details. Help wanted. Just whistle. I also invite you to listen to the Extra Point Companion audio podcast, where you will get full-length interviews with coaches, newsmakers, and pundits in the high school football scene. This week, we had a chance to talk to Livonia Churchill head coach Bill DeFilippo. His Chargers out to a 6-0 start. Big game coming up this Friday against Dearborn Fordsham. You're off to 6-0, best start since going 10-0 back in 2012. I got to ask you, coming into the year, of course, everybody has high goals and everything. Did you see this start coming from your guys?
Well, we have like 8 players on our roster that are third-year starters. So 2 years ago, when they were all starting as sophomores, we knew the future had a chance to look pretty good. And we've made it to the quarterfinals the last 2 years, but going into each year, our division schedule is so hard with teams like Belleville and then Fordson, who we play this week. And Franklin's been good through the years, and having another rivalry with Stevenson, and Dearborn's always tough. We kind of know that our regular season schedule is going to get us ready for the playoffs if we can get that far. So, we just kind of really try to, I know it's coach speak, but we try to take 1 week, 1 day at a time, because we know that we can't look ahead to a next opponent, because whoever we're playing any given week can beat us if we're not ready.
Yeah, you got to run that gauntlet for sure. You've done a great job so far. Let me take you back, if you can, a couple of the teams you mentioned already. You got the big win over Belleville a few weeks back. Can you walk us through that game a little bit? What worked for you in that game? And I know that was a team that was the #1 team in the state at that point when you knocked them off.
Yep, and for good reason. Every year, they've been in our division now for the last 4 years, and they just have tremendous talent every year. I mean, you look at where their kids are college and where they get offered by. So we know each year when they play them that we're not going to be the most talented team on the field that night for sure. But our kids have played them pretty well. The first 3 times, we just haven't been able to put a complete game together. 1 year we were leading at halftime. Last year we played them on the Fox Sports Detroit Game of the Week on a Friday night. And it was a 7-point game halfway through the fourth quarter, and then we gave up a couple of late scores. So we had just struggled to put a full game together, which is hard against those guys. And this year you could just kind of sense something different. You know, in the first half, we kind of sensed that our kids weren't going to get tired and run out of gas. And our kids played amazing that night. They always play hard, but we executed really well and, you know, ended up coming out with the victory, which was great for our program.
Once again, you can listen to the entire conversation on the Extra Point Companion podcast, along with our ranking segment with State Champs own Matt Mowry. Head on over to Spreaker.com and search State Champs Sports. We also want to thank our good friends at Hungry Howie's for all the work they have done fighting breast cancer through their Love, Hope, and Pizza campaign. All October long, every pizza sold in the pink box sees Hungry Howie's make a contribution to the National Breast Cancer Foundation. And we also welcome back the physical therapy and sports medicine pros with the Detroit Medical Center. They have new Game Changer segment this week. You can check it out now on our social media channels and our State Champs TV YouTube page. It's now time to discover what Bernie is burning on. So Bernie, what's it going to be this week?
Let's talk about running backs from the D. Metro Detroit's 0 to 100 hustlers out of the backfield. Guys that are just oozing with hustle and flow when they rush the rock in Metro Detroit. Let's go. So we're going to start with the kings of versatility, the seniors, West Bloomfield's Dylan Tatum, Chippewa Valley's Cephas Trey Harris. These guys are the definition of dynamic, elusive. They can change directions at the drop of a dime, and these guys are off and running in the Mr. Football race. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Then we move to guys like Christian Stokes and Jordan Ramsey. Stokes out of Harper Woods, he's committed to West Virginia. Ramsey out of Stevenson, he's committed to Central Michigan. And these guys just run with such great power and strength. They're straight ahead runners. They can change direction. They can go around the edge. And then they're both just the consummate playmakers. Moving over to the junior class, Ethan Clark at Clarkson and Nolan Ray at Brother Rice. In terms of college prospects and in terms of guys at the next level doing what they do, rushing the rock, the two juniors, the class of 2023, might be the strongest on the board in the MHSAA right now. Ethan Clark is dripping with finesse. He's lighting up scoreboards like a Christmas tree, like a pinball machine. This kid, pound for pound, for my book, best running back in the state of Michigan right now. He's going to have the Big Ten schools coming after him hardcore in the offseason. Right now, he's got all the MAC schools coming after him. And then Nolan Ray, best running back out of the Catholic League Central, just coming from a long line of game-changing running backs. He's continuing that trend, and you know, in terms of college scholarships, the world is his oyster because this guy is a playmaker. And then let's finish off with some supersonic sleeper specials. The guys maybe you don't know about, but you need to know about. Caden Sloan, Mr. Catastrophe over at Dakota. Kareem Sharif, the running back out of the PSL Cass Tech. You know, he's the sheriff. He is the long arm of the law, and he's going to fight his way into the end zone and just do damage that he knows he can do. He runs with power. He runs with speed. Another great gift out of the PSL. Nico Hernandez out of Lanphier. Not a lot of people have heard of this guy. The Latin Lightning Bolt. This guy last year had 18 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards. First team All-State for an undefeated team last season. This year he's doing more of the same. And then we'll finish up with some real sleepers out of Warren Fitzgerald. The West brothers, Troy and Trey, are going to possibly combine for over 2,000 yards between them. Take a look out of the Fitzgerald's camp. But we have a lot of great running backs in the state of Michigan, and definitely in Metro Detroit. And that's what I wanted to focus on today. And these guys are running like their life's dependent on it. And that means great football, and that probably means some district championship rings, maybe some regional championship rings, maybe some state championship rings.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, my friend. We're going to let you go grab another Red Bull. And while you do that, we're going to talk about some of the top games coming up this week the state champs will have for you. We start on the west side of the state as a pair of 6-0 teams go at it with Caledonia going on the road to take on Rockford. The Rams now ranked third in our state champs top 25 rankings. You can also watch this game live on Bally Sports Detroit starting at 7 p.m. Next, it's the Battle of Muskegon bragging rights as Muskegon takes on the two-time defending Division II state champs Muskegon Mona Shores, which is right now number 9 in our rankings. Romeo is off to a 5-1 start. They go on the road to take on number 12 Sterling Heights Stevenson. With the win, Stevenson could clinch the MAC Red title outright. Staying in the MAC, another tussle for city bragging rights as Port Huron takes on Port Huron Northern out at the legendary Memorial Stadium. This game for the MAC Blue Crown. And then we will have number 7, Livonia Churchill, taking on number 20, Dearborn Fordson in a KLAA East matchup. Scotty, welcome back. Hope you're refreshed. Let's go on this week's games. What stands out to you?
I love what I'm going to see out of the MAC Red. That battle between Romeo and Sterling Heights Stevenson really gets me jazzed. These are the kind of things I dream about, these type of matchups where Stevenson can clinch the Red. Biagio Madonna, the quarterback, third year starting, just so much swagger and moxie in the huddle. This guy is a natural leader, and I just foresee him continuing his career of exploits this game. He's going head-to-head with Logan Rolfe, who I really like as a quarterback for Romeo, but at the end of the day, I see Stevenson coming out with the crown. Churchill, Fordson, when people talk about Fordson, they're obviously talking about Antonio Gates Jr., the Michigan State commit, the son of maybe the greatest tight end to ever play the game. But I want to shout out Bailey Brooks from Churchill, probably the best possession receiver in his league, as consistent as it comes. You need a first down when you're facing third down. Bailey Brooks is always going to make that catch for you, and we'll see where he lands in his recruiting. But I love this kid as just a picture of consistency and reliability.
Scott, once again, great stuff. Appreciate your time, my man. State Champs Game Time Live will be back this week. We will bring you the live play-by-play of the Charter School Conference matchup between Warren, Michigan Collegiate, and Chandler Park. This game will be played at Bishop Foley High School. Kickoff is at 7 o'clock Eastern on the State Champs Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch channel. Myself and Richie Pop will bring you all the action. For Scott, we will see you next week, and good luck to all the teams hitting that gridiron this weekend.
State Champs Extra Point, presented by Lawrence Technological University and Lawrence Tech Athletics. For everything LTU, visit ltu.edu. You can recruit yourself to any of Lawrence Tech's collegiate athletic teams by visiting ltuathletics.com. Also brought to you by the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Detroit Medical Center Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. Do you have a sports injury, or are you just looking to take your game to the next level? Go where the pros go. Visit dmc.org/gamechangers. And Hungry Howie's, famous for flavor.